Gildan Media presents Your Coach in a Box, affordable, life-changing audio programs.
Gildan Audio presents an unabridged recording of The Miracle, 6 Steps to Enlightenment, by Joe Vitale, narrated by Don Hagen. Author's Introduction. I am so grateful that you have joined me here for The Miracle, 6 Steps to Enlightenment. I believe that this audiobook contains the best that I have to offer to date. It is the culmination of decades of learning, application, sharing, and teaching that I have done. It is a very important work that will allow you to not only determine what it is you want to create, but it will also help you to clear the path for that creation and the reception of that manifestation. The steps you take in this audiobook will help you to open up the channels for making real everything you have been wanting for so long. You know, since my appearance in The Secret, I've been asked on a regular basis, how is it that you are able to make so many things happen? You manifest cars, you manifest wealth, you manifest books, movies, and music CDs. How is it that you are able to manifest all of those things when I can't even get my monthly rent paid? The answer is found in this audiobook. The answer is found in opening yourself up and clearing your channels to receive everything that you are looking to gain. If you have ever asked, what are those things that I need to do so I can be clear to receive like you do, those answers are the 6 steps to enlightenment. Through all of the exercises that I provide and all the meditations that I guide you through, you will be able to make the miracle real in your own life on a continuous basis. So it is my expectation that this audiobook is going to take you places you've never been before. This audiobook is going to help you to do more than you ever have before. It is going to help you to clear more out of your life, more baggage, more dead weight, more negativity than you've ever cleared before, so you can be open to receive, be open to connect with the divine, and be open to take those 6 steps to enlightenment and expect a true awakening in your own life. Expect miracles. Step 1. The missing secret. The meaning you give an event is actually the belief that attracted the event. Joe Vitale. What would it mean for you to have miracles in your life every day? How would you approach each morning if you knew that miracles were always on your calendar? Welcome to The Miracle, 6 Steps to Enlightenment. Thanks for joining me. I'm glad to be here because we're going to do something historic. This is going to be a defining moment in your life. This is something that's going to change everything. What I mean by that is you may have read some of my books, you may have seen the movie The Secret, or you may have taken other courses. But what I want to give you is the definitive transformation. I want to create with you an entire program that is going to change your life forever. Been there, done that. I don't care where you are. I don't care what you're struggling with. I've been there. We've all struggled. I've definitely struggled, but I've transcended. I've come out to the other side. So, with your help, what we're going to do here together is create a miracle. The miracle called your life. This whole audiobook is based on a 6-step path to enlightenment called The Miracle. But by the time we are done, you're going to be living the miracle. This is going to be something that you will reflect on as being the greatest investment of your life, the greatest investment of you. You may have read my books, you may have listened to some of my audios. That's all good. That's a foundation. But where I'm sitting right now goes beyond everything else I've ever done. What I want to share with you is more than I've ever written about. What I want to share with you is material, secrets, tips, and insights that are going to unlock the inner you. It's going to help you tear down the blocks, the unseen blocks as well as the seen blocks. We're going to do that together, and I'm going to hold your hand as we go through all of this, so it's going to be easy and it's going to be effortless. I do ask you to show up and be mentally ready each time you start listening to this audiobook. I do ask that you participate. I do ask that you reflect on everything every day through these 6 steps. and do whatever is asked of you. It's not going to be a big deal. I'm not asking you to climb mountains or anything, but I am asking you to look within, because, as Carl Jung said, who looks outside dreams, who looks inside awakes. We're going to look inside, and together we're going to awaken. I have shared this material with people from Australia, Greece, Spain, London, Switzerland, Africa, and the United States. It has been all over the world, which is amazing. I'm very flattered that now you have made time to spend with me through this audiobook. What do you want to create? What I want to do here is to ask you to pick something that you would like to have, do, or be. What I mean by that is, I want you to pretend that you can have anything. If I can wave a magic wand and give you anything that you can name, what would you like to have? You see, I want you to choose something now. You can change it later if you want. You can refine it later as you want. As we go through these 6 steps, we're going to perfect everything. We're going to polish everything. You'll have new insights, and you might change your mind about what you want. But because I want this to be practical, I want you to be able to use this and not just make it something that's fun or something that's entertaining for you. What I want you to do is actually take this to the bank. I want you to be able to reflect on this and say, this was a turning point in my life. When I listened to that book by Joe Vitale called The Miracle, I chose a miracle and I saw it come to be. You'll likely have more than one desire to manifest, but you're going to have to learn the basic techniques with one, so you can then apply it to others. We're going to go beyond what everybody else teaches here, and we're going to transcend all of that, so you can truly have virtually anything you could imagine, but we need to start someplace. So I want you to start with one thing that you pick now. What if I don't know what I want? Some people tell me they don't know what to pick, or they don't know what they want. The first thing I will tell you is to just make it up. Just have fun. For the purposes of this audiobook, pick something out of the sky. Just pull it down and say this is what you want. If you need further help, what I often do is a prosperity exercise. I tell people to pretend that they're going to win the lottery. In mid-2015 in the United States, for example, the lottery was up to over $100 million. That's a lot of money. I am not encouraging you to gamble. I am not encouraging you to play the lottery, and I'm not encouraging you to buy a ticket. I am encouraging you to use this as a prosperity exercise. Imagine if you won $100 million tonight, and even after taxes you go home with, we'll say, $50 million in cash. What would you do? Yes, I know you're going to buy a new car. Yes, I know you're going to buy shoes and clothes, and you're going to travel around the world, and you're going to do wonderful things. You're going to give money to worthy causes. That's all great. When the dust settles and you wake up one morning on the beach, what are you going to do then? What are you going to do with your life at that point? That's what I want you to think about. I know people who have become extremely wealthy, but they don't sit around and loaf. What they do is take a little time off, and then they decide, oh, I've always wanted to do fill in the blank. That's what I want you to be thinking about. What do you want to have, do, or be? Another way to look at this is to pretend that you're a child again. When you were a child, what did you want to be? What did you want to have? What did you want to experience? When you were a child, you weren't thinking about what was impossible. You weren't thinking about limitations. You were thinking, I'm going to be an astronaut. You were thinking you were going to be a driver of a fire engine. You were thinking all kinds of things. What comes to mind now? Another way to come up with ideas is to look at your hobbies. If you chose a hobby and you would do it whether you got paid or not, what would it be? All of this is around the idea of selecting one thing to work on as you listen to this audiobook. Again, you can have other goals. You can have other intentions. You can want to attract or attain anything that you like, but we need to start with one. So I invite you to write that down right now, whatever came to mind. And if you're struggling with it a little bit, make it up. Examples might be that you want to feel happier, you want to date more, you want to lose weight, or you want to gain weight. You want more money, You want more sales, you want a relationship, you want a different job, or you want a different house. It doesn't matter. Make something up to use as an exercise as we go through these 6 steps or lessons. Write that down now. Gratitude. One of the best ways for us to begin any transformation is to be in this moment, and the best way to be in this moment is with gratitude. I want to invite you to pick something that you're grateful for. It can be anything. I pick up my reading glasses whenever I need to look at something. I'm grateful for my glasses. I'm grateful for my eyesight. I'm grateful for you. I want you to pick something that you're grateful for, and I mean really feel the gratitude in this moment, because gratitude is the single most powerful thing you can do to change your life. I was reading a book earlier. It's actually sitting right here next to me, and it's called Just Be Glad. This book is from around 1912. Just be glad. The title says it all. Throughout the book, it keeps saying, just be glad, and everything will change. The opening line is, all things respond to the call of rejoicing. All things gather where life is a song. This is the message of the new order, the new life, and the new time. It is the golden text of the great gospel of human sunshine. It is the central truth of that sublime philosophy of existence which declares that the greatest good is happiness, and that heaven is here and now. I'm inviting you to be just as glad. I'm inviting you to find something you're grateful for. A pencil. Really? Let me tell you a quick story of gratitude that I also tell in the movie The Compass. A long time ago, when I was broke and struggling, I was reading the right books, and I was attending the free seminars that kept talking about gratitude. They kept saying, be thankful, and I thought, boy, I'll be thankful when I have something to be thankful for. Well, as long as I had that skeptical attitude, I wasn't getting anywhere. I remember thinking, well, maybe I should try this gratitude exercise, and I remember I picked up a pencil. It was a number 2 pencil, the yellow one with the old lead in it and eraser on top. The one most of us had in school. I certainly did, growing up long, long ago. I looked at the pencil and I said, yeah, I'll be grateful for this pencil. And I was flippant about it. I wasn't really into it. I looked at it and I said, yeah, with this pencil I can write a suicide note. I can write a grocery list. I can write... And I started to come up with all the things I could write. I can write a poem. I can write a song. I can write a love letter. I can write a book. As I started to generate ideas, I shifted inside. I started to truly feel grateful for the pencil. Then I looked at the other side and I saw the eraser, and I thought, that's genius. With an eraser, I can erase the suicide note, or I can erase lines of the poem that didn't rhyme, or if I wrote a grocery list, I could erase the things I didn't want. Suddenly, I looked at the pencil as a miracle. I thought, who invented the pencil? What an amazing thing a pencil is, and it's just a stick. It's a stick with a piece of lead in it that you can write with, and a brilliant piece of rubber that you can erase with. That was a turning point in my life because I opened my heart, myself, and everything up. I allowed life to come in, and it took the blinders off of me. Instead of being skeptical and unhappy and miserable, I started to feel gratitude for everything and everybody around me. That's the power of gratitude. It changed my life forever, and I'll talk about that a little bit more as we go through the lessons in this audiobook. For right now, I want you to feel gratitude for something. It will bring you into this moment. It'll shift your energy. It'll make you feel good. Just be glad. Remember to just be glad. It'll make you feel better, and you'll start to attract more things that match the energy of gratitude. Your turn. Gratitude exercise. Take a moment, close your eyes, and reflect. What are you grateful for? Pick anything. It doesn't matter what. Just decide what it is, and then feel it. It's very important that you feel it. So feel the gratitude, and allow that to go through your body. If you have to fake it till you make it, that's entirely fine, much like I did with the pencil. I didn't feel grateful when I first picked up the pencil, but as I pretended to feel grateful, it became sincere gratitude. I felt grateful, and it changed my life. It opened me up forever, and it'll do the same for you. This is where we begin. We're starting with what you want, and we're starting with gratitude, two powerful tools. The law of attraction. Now, many of you are here because of the law of attraction, and that's fine and dandy. Let's talk about the law of attraction. I want to assure you we're going to go beyond the law of attraction. We're going to go into the other laws, and we're going to actually transcend the laws so you can work with them and beyond them. You can transcend the laws. That's an advanced concept, and we'll go into that a little bit deeper over the next few chapters. But right now, we want to start with some basics and really take it to a deeper level. I know you have probably heard of the law of attraction. You may be practicing it or be a fan of it, but the way most people understand the law of attraction is wrong. Many people have a very superficial understanding of the law of attraction. I want you to understand it deeper. What most people think about the law of attraction is that they're going to get whatever they think about, and at a very superficial level, that's true. But you have a lot of thoughts, and not all of those thoughts come true. Scientists say you have 60,000 to 80,000 thoughts a day. Imagine that, 60,000 to 80,000 thoughts a day. Most of the thoughts are the same ones, so you are thinking recycled material all day long. But notice they don't all come true, and you can't help but wonder why. Why don't they all come true? Many people are looking at the law of attraction, but they don't understand what it really is because they're thinking, oh, I'll just think it, or maybe if I just visualize it, it's going to come into being. Well, you know as well as I, that doesn't always happen. So that raises the question, why not? Is the law of attraction selective? Does it work for everybody else and not work for you? What is the law of attraction? Who does it work for? And how do you make it work? Now, that's all part of what we're going to be digging into in this first lesson in particular, but expanding on through these lessons, because again, I want you to make this work. I care about you. That's why I'm doing this. I'm making time to do this. I want to share everything I've learned in my 6+ decades here. All the research that I've done, everything that I've been working on, plus my own personal discoveries, all of that, I want to open up and share it with you so you have what really works. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a results guy. So I don't want to give you airy-fairy things that are just pie-in-the-sky wispy ideals that don't do anything. I want you to understand how the law of attraction really works. Belief and the law of attraction. The law of attraction is actually working on your beliefs. It's working on your belief system, which for the most part is not what's in your conscious mind. Beliefs are the primary driver of the law of attraction, and not necessarily your conscious beliefs. That's the big mistake everybody keeps making. They think, if I just sit here and think, I am now attracting more money, I am now attracting my perfect relationship, I am now attracting my better job, I am now attracting more sales, I am now attracting better health, I am now attracting my ideal home, or fill in the blank with whatever you want. People are thinking it, and they might even be visualizing it, but that's not enough. You know why? Because you have a conscious mind and you have an unconscious mind. The subconscious mind and counterintentions. Some people call your unconscious mind the subconscious mind. Some people call it the non-conscious mind. You know what I'm talking about. You have a conscious mind, and you have this deeper iceberg that's below the level of the conscious mind. It's holding your database of beliefs. That's where all of the law of attraction is actually taking place. It's not on the conscious level. See, consciously, you can be saying to yourself and visualizing, I'm attracting more money, but if unconsciously you think money is bad, or you think money is evil, or you think you're bad, or you think you're evil, or you think money will contaminate you, or if you think you don't deserve money, or you don't deserve good things, or if you think there's a shortage of money, or if you think you have to be ruthless to have money, or any number of negative things, what do you think is going to happen to your conscious intention? It's going to be crippled. It's going to be destroyed. I call these counterintentions. In other words, you have intentions, which are the things that you want to attract into your life, but then you can also have counterintentions. The counterintentions are vetoing the intentions, and all of this is based on beliefs. You have a belief system that's operating in your brain, and for the most part, you're unconscious to it. That's not wrong. That doesn't mean you're dumb. It doesn't mean you're bad. It doesn't mean that you're irresponsible. We all have that. We were programmed from birth with beliefs, not with facts, and we all have a different story about how we were brought up. Let me ask you this. Were your parents enlightened? Were your parents Mr. and Mrs. Buddha? Most likely they were not. I know that my parents struggled with their own beliefs about money. Some of the biggest fights that I heard when I was a kid were with my parents over money. They had their own beliefs about relationships, and they had fights about that. I, as a kid, was downloading all of this information, assuming that was how the world works. I assumed it was reality. You probably did the same thing. When you were growing up, you made conclusions. As a child, as an unthinking, unconscious, developing child, you were downloading all this information and making conclusions about the world and how it worked. Those were beliefs. You carried those beliefs into adulthood, like I did. Then, at some point, you sat there and you wondered, how come I can't have the perfect relationship? How come I can't have money? How come I can't have success? How come I can't have fill in the blank? It's not your fault. It's your belief system. Other people, not you, created your belief system. Your belief system, most scientists agree, was developed, installed, and almost complete by the time you were 7 years old. Imagine that. Most of us are grown-up 7-year-olds. I'm 7 years old in this body. You're 7 years old in your body. Now, that doesn't mean it has to stay that way, and that's why you're listening to this audiobook. We're going to change all that. We're going to remove that. We're going to awaken from that. You're going to change your belief system. I did it too. I'll tell you my little story shortly. So what I'm telling you here is about beliefs, about facts, about intentions, about counterintentions. And then we also want to talk about clearing. Clearing out the old. Clearing is how we're going to remove the counterintentions. Clearing is a process. Throughout this audiobook, we will use a variety of clearing techniques so that you can actually, as the word says, get clear of whatever is going on in your life. When you're trying to attract something and you're not able to do it, it's not your fault, and it's not the law of attraction's fault. You're actually operating the way you were programmed to operate, and the law of attraction is actually doing what the law was set up to do. It's attracting you to a match to your unconscious belief system. What we want to clear up are the beliefs that aren't working for you. That's what this is all about. Now, I also want to tease you a little bit and say we're going to also go beyond this, because the law of attraction, in many ways, is the beginner's law. Getting clear is a step towards where I really want you to go, which is awakening. Once you awaken, there are no limitations, there are no boundaries. The entire planet becomes yours, because at that point you live in the field of all possibilities. There aren't any limits at that point. There are no restrictions. The only limits, the only restrictions, and the only boundaries are in you. They're where your belief system is. That's why all of this is so important, and that's why most of the self-help programs that are out there don't work. They don't work because they're missing this secret. This is the missing secret. You've got to understand that when people tell you, just do this, or just believe that, or just visualize this, or just feel this, or just think this, or just write affirmations, or just do whatever, people are giving you an incomplete recipe. They're still working on the conscious level of beliefs. If you have an intention, and you've had one for a while, and you've not been able to attract it or achieve it, no doubt it's because of your unconscious beliefs, your counterintentions. The missing secret is you must get clear of the counterintentions so you can have your intentions come into your life. The secret. It's only the beginning. Now, you probably saw the movie The Secret. If you haven't seen the movie The Secret, I encourage you to see it because it's a great movie. It's at www.thesecret.tv. It's probably on Netflix and Amazon and everywhere else. Now, the movie is wonderful, and it's all about the law of attraction. That movie introduced the law of attraction to the world, and it took the world by storm. It is still traveling the planet. The movie came out 10 years ago, and it's still moving, still selling. There's also a book called The Secret that's based on the movie. I'm glad that I'm in both the book and the movie. I'm very proud of it. I would encourage you to see the movie or read the book, whether I was in it or not. But there is a problem with it, and that's why there are so many skeptics. That's why there are so many critics who make fun of The Secret or make fun of the law of attraction. The movie introduced the idea of the law of attraction. It introduced the idea, and that's all it was supposed to do. But everybody assumed that because of what they saw in the movie, that's how the law of attraction worked. That's an incomplete story. The law of attraction works deeper than what the movie revealed. People watched the movie and they thought, oh, well, all I have to do is sit in a chair and close my eyes and visualize a bike, and the doorbell will ring and my uncle will be there with a bike. Or they say, all I have to do is visualize, my perfect house. I can feel being in it. Then I go down the street and I discover my perfect house. The movie led you to believe that it was so simple that it was almost like your life could be a Walt Disney movie. I'm not saying your life can't be like that. Those kinds of things can happen, but only once you use the missing secret. Only once you get clear of the counterintentions, the counter-beliefs, and the old programming. Then you might sit in a chair and visualize the bike. Then the doorbell will ring and a bike will be there, because there won't be any interference in you to keep that kind of a miracle from taking place. The vast majority of people watched the movie and made the erroneous assumption that that's all they had to do. Think it, visualize it, and it shows up. Again, if you don't have any blocks and you don't have any counterintentions, that's what may happen. But most of us have blocks. Most of us have counterintentions. My story. I don't know if you know my story, but it's probably worth mentioning here that I haven't always been the author that you're listening to, or the musician that I am now, or a guy in a movie as I am now. I don't know if you know this, but I was homeless at one point back in the 1970s. I used to avoid talking about this because it was embarrassing, and it was traumatizing, and it was psychologically damaging. I was embarrassed to share it. It was a personal, private experience, and I didn't think anybody needed to know about it. But over time, as I became more well-known and my books became published and my name got out there more, people would ask me about my early story. Then I would start to tell it, and they would be inspired. Then I thought, well, maybe that's why I need to tell it. People think if Joe can leave homelessness and become this best-selling author who lives the lifestyle of the rich and famous, and gets to do wonderful books like this, then maybe their lives can change too. Yes, your life can change too. Mine did. I was homeless in Dallas, Texas in the late 1970s, and then I moved to Houston. I don't know how I got there. Bus, hitchhiked, I don't actually remember. But I was in poverty for 10 years. I was married during that time, and it was really rough for both of us. I remember being depressed. I remember even being suicidal. I remember being so unhappy I would cry. I managed to get a job that I hated, and I would drive to work crying behind the wheel of the car. I'd drive home crying behind the wheel of the car. I was that unhappy. I had my goal. I wanted to be an author. So, you see, I had my intention. It was a noble intention. I wasn't drinking. I wasn't into drugs. I wasn't doing any of the addictive behaviors that a lot of people say got them into homelessness or poverty. I was trying my best. I had a noble goal. I wanted to make a difference in the planet. I felt like it was my calling to be an author. But why wasn't it happening? Why was I struggling? I was so broke, I get emotional even thinking about it, just sharing it with you.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?